What up, though? Welcome to another episode of the CP Podcast. I'm CP. We have Maye. We have Amir. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about. And I always have no idea what we're going to talk about. That way, I could just talk and I can react. I'm giving you guys a natural reaction. You guys are hearing what we're talking about as I'm hearing what we're talking about. So, first of all, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything been going? You guys look so tall now.
It's good. I had a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank
What
you.
day?
It was the 7th. It was Thursday.
Oh, man. April 7th. That's a good birthday. Wow. Aries?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What'd you do?
Nothing.
Okay, nice. Aries. True Aries. True Aries. Because I'm on the Aries, like, cusp. You know what I'm saying?
Your birthday was...
March 19th.
Mine was the 24th.
Oh, yeah. So you're Aries
too.
for sure. Yeah. It's like, I'm not really into celebrating myself for real. It's kind of like, happy to be here. Yay, But that's cool, though. That's
But I
cool.
especially did nothing. I avoided doing things that I probably should have done and just did nothing.
Nothing feels great sometimes. Amir, happy birthday to you too, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday to everybody.
I know, right? Yeah, we all have birthdays in the last month, man. Getting old. Knees are clicking. Knees are clicking. That's a whole nother story, though. That in itself is a conspiracy. I want to talk about age, the concept of age and time. Prince said it best. He doesn't celebrate birthdays because you're only born on one day and you're just flowing through life. He did get a little old at the end, but for the most part, Prince was pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I feel like when he let that perm go, his face was like, it's time to go into the dark side. It's time to get old, Prince. Time to get old. Put your ass back in your jeans. You're a grown man now. But nah, so, yeah, man. New York. I was in New York for 2.5 weeks. I was filming a new series. And it's cool. I got to go back in a couple of weeks to do some more filming. What can I tell you guys? I play a billionaire on this show. Yeah, I'm a billionaire. I have my own plane and everything. I got a private jet, a real private jet. Like, I really was on a private jet. I've never been on a private jet. It's my first time ever been on a private jet. And it's mine on the show. That's cool. Yeah, man, just happy to be back. Happy to be back and, get ready to get back to work. New York is just like, you don't drive your car.
There's no parking. Where are you going to park it?
What are you going to do? And people out here driving, it's like, man, and then they drive crazy. Like, the lines in the street are not really for driving. That's just like to measure how many cars can be in that. It's like, man, this shit is crazy. So I'm happy to be back in L.A. I take L.A. for granted. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I'm happy to be
It's chill
back.
here. I like it here a lot. People say terrible things about it, and yeah, there are terrible things to be said, but I think generally people are just laid back, just trying to get to where they're going.
It's a nice little fog over L.A., though. I saw it. I was like, damn, like, it really is a smog over this place. You don't realize it when you just been living in it, but this shit is smoggy. It's smoggy, man. But that is another conspiracy for another day. They're all conspiracies. Anyway, go ahead. So, what are we talking about today?
UFOs.
Yes. I've been waiting on this. Before we can look, they're real. Let's start there. They're real. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say if they're real or they're not. I'm just saying The Sun, the paper, put out a Freedom of Information request from the Pentagon, and the Pentagon released 1,500 pages of documents.
How long ago?
This is recent. This is within the past week or so.
What?
So let me pull this up. Now, I've been trying to find the actual release in the Pentagon's files, and I'm not finding it. And maybe it just came through The Sun at first. Because here's the thing. Here's a clip. Oh, where's my thing? Oh, here we go. Here's the clip that is interesting to me. Okay.
Is it the Tic Tac video?
It's not the Tic Tac video.
Okay.
I'm going to read you from Live Science. Encounters with UFOs have reportedly left Americans suffering from radiation burns, brain and nervous system damage, and even unaccounted for pregnancy, according to a massive database of U.S. government. They had a pregnancy that they could not track down. That's why I want to go through the 1,500 pages and be like, what do you mean you had a pregnancy you couldn't track down the baby daddy of?
Wait a minute. So these are UFO abduction encounters.
Either abduction or sometimes they abduct them and then they bring them back.
Right. I mean, because
Yeah.
obviously they're bringing back because they got the report from them. But it's like, I mean, so then that makes me think that these aliens, quote unquote, are they could. It's one of two things because if they're fucking the people, now that's a whole nother ball game.
I mean, do they have to fuck them? Can it be like an IVF, in vitro fertilization? Like maybe they want to make a better version of themselves?
Yeah, but also too, like, don't forget that this ties into Hollow Earth theory and how at the top of the Earth is where a lot of highly technological beings are at, and they're not in outer space; they're here on Earth.
You mean like the unidentified submerged objects that they might be
Well,
underneath?
Right, there are those, but I'm talking about the ones that are literally coming out of Hollow Earth,
The
right?
Antarctica.
Antarctica, like, and so basically, like, that's like they're sneaking out at night, and these are like super humanoid beings that have these flying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that the answer is too far away. When you said pregnant, that immediately made me think, like, because I just don't imagine that alien semen could, but see, we're thinking of aliens like they're just big green goblins and not a more advanced humanoid, or yeah, it got to be more advanced, a more advanced humanoid type of thing. Yeah, Hollow Earth.
So, do you think that they're like of the same species? Like we used to have a lot of humanoid species wandering the earth, like the Neanderthals. They were other human species, and we could interbreed with them. That's why there's Neanderthal bloods. The Denisovans,
Right.
we could interbreed with them as well.
The
So you're
who?
saying they were in Asia?
And what were they?
They were human. Let me get my mouse.
Because they found all these different skulls too. So all the different skulls show you the different.
They're the different skulls.
Right. See, now we get into the real truth. Like, really, who pussy the best for real now? Because it's not just humans anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. And I feel like we might be winning because if they raping our women, we're not taking theirs.
We may have back in the day. So when we were humans, we're taking over Europe and Asia, Homo sapiens sapien. So that's the first one, Homo sapiens sapien. Then we have Homo sapien neanderthalis, Homo sapien denisovan. So they're like, I want to say like closer to breeds, like they could interbreed with each other, like dogs can.
Right. And so, I mean, here's the thing. Are we races of people or are we breeds of people?
Well, if we want to go back 20,000 years ago, we would have been breeds.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like in Asia, there's an Asian person. Like, we know them for how their structure of their, like, are they a breed of human?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Because they're, it's like, oh, they're good at this, but they're like short across the board, right? But they're very smart. You know what I'm saying? It's like is this, like, are there different breeds of human? Like, as a black man, we're just a different breed. A white man, different breed. And so when you combine them, sometimes there are, and that was probably the plan the whole time, is to make like an earth race or earth breed.
Okay, so humans are definitely overall a race. And then you can, of course...
No, a race or a species?
A species.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Okay,
Okay,
so a
okay,
species.
okay.
And then I define species, and maybe I'm past the times, as they can interbreed with each other. Like...
Correct, like a liger.
Well, a liger...
They would never happen in the wild, right? But it's possible for a lion to get pregnant and give birth to a tiger's offspring.
But isn't the offspring then sterile?
Sterile, correct.
So that's not the same with if a black person and a white person have a baby, then the offspring can still have children.
Right. And so, but that's because it's not natural, right? But the being exists of a liger.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Like a mule.
So that being can exist. Some beings, like, you can't do like a snake and a lion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that couldn't exist, right? They're in the same kind of area of, and so they're in the same species, cat species.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can interbreed them because they're pretty close, and then the offspring. If you have a father who's a tiger and a mother who's a lion, it's different than the other way around.
Correct.
So
Because it's a liger and a Pentagon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just pull up.
I don't feel like Pentagons make it. I feel like ligers are the ones.
I saw a liger years ago at the Renaissance Fair in New England, King Richard's Fair, and they actually had the liger out. There was like a liger show. This is probably before it was all illegal to do that.
Yeah.
And
was it big?
it was so big. And the only thing keeping it from the audience was this little person with eyes on the back of his head, like drawn on the back of his head. And then I was thinking about that.
Oh, because the lion would think he was looking at him.
Yeah. And I was like, that's not safe.
Damn, if the liger ever figures it out, like, why this motherfucker not crying? But he cried. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. People, man, we gotta stop playing with shit. I remember my mom, I took a picture with a bear and I was damn near hugging it. And my mom was on the other side of me. I'm like, what the fuck were we doing? What the fuck were we doing? Yeah, look at that.
A real bear?
A real bear at the state fair. They put a head of lettuce in his mouth right before the picture. So he just like, and I was like, all right, thank you. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring a picture. So is that a little liger puppy on top of it? A luppy?
That is, let me get up here. So this is the offspring of a male lion and a female tiger.
Okay. So offspring of a male lion and a female tiger. Okay. A liger is a zoo-bred hybrid, as is the Pentagon, which are the results of mating a male tiger with a female. I can't believe that I be having all these facts in my head. You ever get like, man, what the fuck? Who am I? Like, why do I have all these tidbits of information? So I was right. Go down, scroll down real quick. Let me see. Is that a Pentagon?
This is about ligers.
Okay.
Their heads are huge.
They're huge.
Yeah,
they're
they're
massive.
massive.
They're supposed to be nicer and friendlier, but
Yep.
when if that thing ever lost its temper, nothing could ever stop it.
But they say that you know why they couldn't survive in the wild?
Why?
Because they're too slow for the kind of prey that they would need to sustain that kind of body weight. So like they would need to catch big prey, and they don't have the speed, and they kind of don't have the aggression.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, they're kind of like, what's wrong with you? I'm just a big goofy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have they're not like really, they're like babies.
Well, good. That thing could eat humans all
Oh,
it
of
wanted.
course.
But I don't think we're
course.
big enough to
Of course.
sustain them.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't. If it was a liger in the neighborhood, they wouldn't even probably have been looking for John Benet Ramsey.
Okay. We're going to go back to UFOs because somebody said something about the UFO dump. Okay, so I'm having trouble finding out the follow-up to this pregnancy.
Okay.
Remember we talked on one of the podcasts about how back in the day, women in the Middle Ages used to say that demons impregnated them?
Yeah, but they was whores.
You think they're whores?
Yeah.
What about the Virgin Mary? Do you think the Virgin Mary could have been impregnated by an alien?
I think she also sucked his dick. Okay, I'll quit. But have you seen that Jamaican video on TikTok? They be like, "Who impregnated you, Mary?" Whatever. It's funny. Yeah, she could have been, and that being could have been a super being with a lot more. Damn, and that just could be Jesus.
I mean, maybe.
Man, you ever like feel like, man, I wish I was Jesus a little bit. Like, what if it's me and I don't want to tell anybody? You ever feel like that? Yeah, tell me you never felt that way. Amir, come on. You ever been like, what if I'm Jesus, low key? What if I'm Jesus a little bit? Like, what if I'm Jesus and I don't want to tell anybody?
It come after you do something crazy. You be like,
Nah.
nobody else ain't ever did this. I got to be the guy.
No, I'd be like, what if I'm Jesus? Because I have a kind heart.
What?
But no, like,
Why would you want to be Jesus? The story of Jesus is that he's like the scapegoat and that he is tortured at the end. And even though he's very good and does the right thing to help people, his last moments are of
sounds
the
like
group.
Kanye.
Does it sound like
A
Kanye?
little bit.
Really? What did...
And he calls himself Jesus, too. No coincidence.
All right, I'm having trouble seeing the similarities between Kanye and Jesus right now.
Yeah. me
Okay,
too.
so water into wine.
When did he do that?
No, I'm saying that's what Jesus did.
That's what Jesus did.
Right.
Yeah.
Kanye came out with this pretty cool stem player. Jesus did not. Okay, so now we're at a tie. Then Jesus walked on water.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Kanye's like 40 times platinum and has like 25 Grammys. Jesus did not. We are now at a tie. God gave us Jesus. Hove gave us Yeezus.
That's a bit of a stretch.
We're neck and neck.
I don't know if we're neck and neck.
No, I mean literally, they're neck and neck.
Okay.
Somebody said I would have a better singing voice if I was Jesus.
Why? Did Jesus sing very well?
Jesus never sung. Jesus was a carpenter. Jesus never sung. People sing to Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so all I'm saying is we don't know yet. You know, Kanye tried to run for president.
Did Jesus try to run for president?
Jesus had 12 disciples. There's only like 15 people in the world back then. Like, I think he was the president. Anyway, so
okay,
UFO pregnancies.
The UFO.
Do we think Jesus is an alien baby? Yes, we do. Knowing what we know now, knowing how they were describing stuff back then, yeah, I think so. I do think that Jesus was an alien baby. We don't talk enough about USOs, which is unidentified submerged objects, and what people believe. And I've said this before. Y'all can go back and look. The shit is coming out of the water. And it's a reason why we have not explored more of the ocean is because, think about it, if we wanted to, we absolutely positively could. Like, think about all the things that we've invented, right? If we wanted to, not only could we build something to be able to sustain the pressure of going to the bottom of the ocean, but also, like, we could even recreate that pressure the same way that we recreate pressurized cabins to go to space, if need be. We could literally shoot a rocket into the ocean, the other way around, a water rocket.
We could. The thing about this one is that it didn't make any sound. That's what they say. Now, they don't know if this could have been maybe Chinese or Russian technology that they were working on. I don't know.
I don't never know why we would even ever think something is not Chinese technology. I mean, because
they steal all of our technology. So if we don't have it, why would they have it?
really? They steal all our technology?
They steal all of our technology because our companies are selfish and greedy, and they want to make their stuff in China for cheap. So they partner with these Chinese companies, and then the Chinese companies are just like, well, thanks for that tech. And then they give them to the government because the government and the companies are very close. So they steal all of our technology. That's what the biggest problem we have with China is them stealing our intellectual property.
But we keep having them make it.
Yeah, our overlords are greedy.
Cheap labor.
Cheap labor.
Wow. How much is labor here?
At least $20 an hour. Plus, you got to cover health care, and then you have to cover the payroll taxes. So employing
So
a
over there,
person-
they just die. Somebody just sweep them up and be like,
They literally have like safety nets outside of I forgot the name of the place, but they have like safety nets outside the window so the people won't jump out. Like it's that bad.
they'll jump out and they'll jump into the net, and then they'll go back to work.
here's my thing though. What time do they get off?
They were it's supposed to be 12-hour days, 6 days a week,
Yeah.
and that's their ideal schedule.
It's like people try to make this sound like slavery, and I'm like, so are they getting beat? Are people hanging them, or are they just stressed out from screwing in 80,000 cell phones? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like what? So
It's just overall unsafe working conditions.
but why don't they just quit though? Why
That's
don't they
not how
form a
they live.
union? Why don't they just all just go on strike and be like, no more phones until we get 8-hour days? Like, what would they just stop and be like, we're not doing it?
Well, I'm trying to think about, to my knowledge, when the Chinese have went on strike. Right now, there are a lot of riots in Shanghai because they're keeping them in lockdown before COVID. But generally, outside of like Tiananmen Square, they don't usually go on strike. That's not their that's not what they think about, because they think about what can we do to serve the group, whereas we think about what can we do to serve ourselves. We just have a different mindset.
But what group are they trying to serve if they're just sending stuff over here? You know what I'm saying?
The Chinese organism, they think of themselves more like an extension of the organism.
Why don't they sell drugs?
They do.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like, what are you talking about? Like, we in here 12 hours a day. You know how much weed I'll be getting off, or how much pills and shit? Because it's like, oh, it's like, dog, like, come on, man. We, you know, people make money in prison. Did you know that they have Dookie Glocks? Have you heard about this?
What?
Yes. You get robbed in prison, what they call Dookie Glocks, where they like, it's like a toothpaste tube filled with like some of the most horrible bodily functions, and they will threaten to squeeze it on you if you don't give them the shit.
So they'll put poop on you?
All kind of shit.
Okay. I would give them whatever they want.
Exactly. And so do they.
Yeah.
That's how you can get your noodles. So can you imagine you in there, you chefing up a dog ass noodle pack, and everybody like, you really killing it, like stirring the cheese around the side. And you're like, 'cause my family cares about me, and you just get, you know, and they send me stuff, and then as soon as you about to get the first bite, give me that shit right now if you get a Dookie Glock. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is, like, we know about the conditions. We don't know about the adaptations within that, because it's like, I'm sorry, people just keep trying to make me act like it's this lady in New York was arguing me down about the labor in China.
What'd she say?
She was like, you're black, you should understand. She was a white lady. You're black, you should understand that this labor in China it's like slavery. And I'm like, wait a minute. These motherfuckers is in their own country. Their own people that look just like them are making them do this. And they're doing it. And there's no, you know, I'm like, they didn't. So you mean to tell me that China didn't go get them from somewhere and then separate them from their family? These people get to go home. They're working 12-hour days. I'm sorry. Go to college. Or don't. Or it's like, dog, like, it doesn't seem like they're forcing them to do it.
They have a weird history. Like, they had the Cultural Revolution and under Mao in the 20th century, and a lot of people died under that. Like, a lot of people, like millions of people died under Mao, and I think that may have taught them, really instilled in them, that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, that they could instantly die. And that's not entirely untrue. So they have a form of coercion, of control that's different than what we have. But I wouldn't trade places with a Chinese person, a regular middle-class Chinese person.
Now, here's what I need to know. Is it a thing where what they're doing is actually benefiting China in a way that it's like, somebody just said, well, China lifted about 100 million people out of poverty. Yeah. Right. By all of them working together to hood.
Yeah.
And hood. Yeah. And if that's the case, then it's like still better than slavery.
The Koreans did a very similar thing, and they didn't have to kill their own people. So the Koreans over the course of the 20th century also lifted their people out of poverty, South Koreans. And it both came out of bloodshed, because like the Korean War was bloodshed, and then the Cultural Revolution, that's also bloodshed. So it's just, how do you want to do it? Is it that tech really lifted the people out?
We can handle this like some gentlemen, or we can get into some gangster shit. Damn.
Yeah.
It's like, man, at least that's a choice, though. At least they aren't kidnapped in somebody else's country and speaking a language they don't understand. And you know what I'm saying? Like, at least that. It's like, dog, stop. The world try to fucking brush slavery under the goddamn table so much. It's just like when you got to work overtime at the Gap, ain't it? You like, shut the fuck up. Like, come on, dog. Like, they just.
She really said that to you? She said it's just like slavery? That lady in New York?
Yeah, she did.
She said that?
She did.
Wow.
She was a producer. And they were trying to get me to do this interview about Chris Rock and Will Smith. And I was kind of like, I don't want to do this shit because that ain't none of my business. And then she started talking, and I was like, yeah, let me get the fuck out of here. Certain people just have no compassion or no experience having to have compassion. So they like to equate, you know what I'm saying? Like, lady, just no. Give us our reparations. Shut the fuck up, because shit is fucked up.
Because there can be two different horrible things. You could say what's happening to some Chinese people, and this person is right, that the Chinese government was able to lift its people out of poverty at the expense of maybe a lot of people's happiness. Like, this person's not wrong.
Hold on. Did somebody say that they just found a plantation with slaves on it last year in Mississippi?
Who said that?
Yeah, I think that's actually true. It's a lot of laws that haven't necessarily went in effect down in the South. Truthfully. Like, I think it just got illegal to own a person somewhere in like 2015.
Year, though? 2021?
I'm looking that up right now. I've never been to Mississippi. Full disclosure.
Me either, but it ain't somewhere you really want to go anyway.
That's where your grandpa?
It's very intense. Mississippi is very intense. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in a good or bad, not like a bad way. It's just like it just has like a feeling down there. Like, you know, shit kind of.
You feel like you might not belong. That's
a little.
Unless
bit.
you with your people, then it's like, hey, don't
real.
mess around.
That shit is like, man, this fucking hair is all over the place, man. I got too much damn hair.
You had cornrows last I saw you.
Yeah, yep. They were braided back, but yeah.
I'm not finding that Mississippi plantation story.
So it might not have been. I don't think it was last year. But I definitely, there's a law that they just.
Hey, Dave, tell us where it's at so we can find the article quicker. Like
2015, I think.
It was in 2015?
I think around that time is when they said they finally outlawed it somewhere. I don't know if it was Mississippi or not, but it was one of those states down in the South.
They ratified the 13th Amendment.
Can I tell you something?
Like,
I'm killing motherfuckers. Like, I'm a slave. I didn't even know that it was, because they had that movie about it. You saw that movie about it? God, what's
Django? 12 Years a Slave?
No, not Django, not 12 Years a Slave. It was like kind of recent. I want to say like Janelle Monáe was in it, but it might have been like another actress. But it was like she got like kidnapped and she thought she was really back in time until they found her cell phone and you realize that it was like, what? It might have been one of the Jordan Peels. What's Jordan Peele's? It was like Revenants or...
Is it the one that he's coming out with?
Nah, this one's been out for about 2 years.
There's Us, Candyman, Get Out, Antebellum. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I did not see that one. Stuff like that, I usually skip over it. Because I'm like, if it's a young girl and she's being captured, because slavery or not, young girls still have to watch out for that.
Hell
because creeps will try to put you in their basement.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the things. And I'm like, I don't need to mentally go.
No, this goes deeper than that. They were living in slavery, and you thought they went back in the past. The whole movie. Come to find out, her cell phone rings, and you realize that this is some shit that's going on right now. It's like, holy motherfuck. Mississippi is one of the biggest hotspots for the largest Klan group. Yeah, man. Janelle Monáe, yeah, okay, yep.
It says it's on Hulu. Did that make a theater? Is that because of the quarantine and the lockdown that I missed the theatrical review of that?
That's exactly what it is, and you're right. It did not go to theaters. It came out during the pandemic, and it scared the shit out of me.
Okay, I don't want to say anything bad about Mississippi because I have
Hold on,
not
somebody
been there.
said, yeah, I just moved from Mississippi 3 weeks ago. Slavery just stopped. I left in the middle of the night. What the fuck?
He's joking.
Oh, I think Dage said, sorry, it was 2019. ICE found Mexican slaves on the plantation.
Oh, the thing about ICE, and I don't want to get too far off topic, because we actually used to do work with them. Not with them, against them. Mm-hmm. Because there was a bill that was passed that said that we have to pay these private prisons to keep them in the private prisons. This was 2006. So this was basically... through Congress, they're saying they're making a deal with these private prisons, GeoCorp particularly, that we have to keep 30,000 Mexicans, refugees or whatever, locked up in their prison, and we have to pay them a certain amount a year. And so that turned out to be a whole thing. I totally believe that they found Mexican immigrants working there, because now it's super shady, under the rug. People get shipped out to all these places. But even under Bush and Obama, it was really shady. It was like some backroom dealings with these private prison corporations talking about these refugees or these migrants. We were working with people, and They'd get picked up, they'd get put there. You'd never know what happened to them. They weren't getting enough food. We worked with a guy who ended up dying in one of these places. Like, it was crazy. I used to work with this organization through my old church. And yeah, I totally believe that. I absolutely believe that they found migrant slaves.
Yeah, they still doing that now. Like, it's just that it became publicized when Trump got in office, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like all the things like, oh my God, free all the people from ICE. And, you know, they're like trapped in there. But they're literally taking them at the border, essentially. Or they're taking them from where they are now. Like, you've already been here. You lived here your whole life. But you don't have that legal documentation. Take them and then send them back. But they're not sending them to Mexico. They're sending them to, like, basically a concentration camp of some sorts. Where they just live.
Yeah,
and they live and then they sleep on the floor, on concrete floor, and women are pregnant and they're ended up having kids and they're breathing in the same air and there's like 50 people in a room and it's basically what you would say like modern day slavery.
Messed up.
Damn.
It's super messed up. Adelanto Detention Center, which is far enough away that we can't really go help them out, but it's close enough to LA. That's some Illuminati back dealings, like evil
and that's what
stuff.
I'm saying. But that's like, so like, where was the UFOs for the slaves? Are there any, there's never no slave UFO stories?
They would have come in a different form. They may have come as interdimensional beings in dreams or whatever. We were talking about this the other day. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about this. I don't want to get too off. But the idea of mind viruses, the idea that there are forms of intelligence that aren't on the third dimension. So this, Watiko is an Indian term, a Native American term. I don't want to, whatever. So it's a term for basically what we would describe as the devil.
Right.
Or Jung would describe as the shadow self. But it is, in and itself, has its power, or an archetype, which is, it's a mind form of feelings and emotions. So you could say it's like our emotions personified into a being that can go from mind to mind or something like that.
Wow.
So this book is about mind viruses.
It's like a spirit.
It's a spirit, exactly. It's a spirit. So the hungry ghost concept, which we talked about, they have desires. They have material desires that can't be fulfilled because they don't have a body.
Right.
So they have to get into someone who does have a body. And so the idea of the devil or whatever. So this could be a being. We don't know. Define being. Like, that's the thing.
Damn.
That just goes into our minds and lives through us. Fame, for example, in Hollywood. That might be one. The concept of fame gets into people's minds and it makes totally different people act in a very similar fashion, craving this fame like it's a drug and going after this over and over again.
Damn, that's deep. And so Hollywood just could be like a bunch of demons that's just in people.
I mean, I've lived out here and had some thoughts and I've thought, that's not my thought. And then it went away. It went away immediately when I said, that's not my thought.
Damn.
It was like, oh, okay. I'm not saying that maybe it is something that was in my head. I'm not saying it's not. I can't say for certain, but
we starting to scare the shit out of me a little bit with the shit we talk about today. It's kind of fucking me up. I should not have smoked on the way here. I should have just came here sober. God damn. So, okay.
Let's talk about mermaids.
I mean, they're real.
You think mermaids are real? Okay, you go first.
The TikTok siren guy, you saw that?
No, TikTok siren.
There's a guy on TikTok that is on like a crabbing boat. He works on like one of those crab deadliest catch boats. And he hears singing in the water and he's like playing his phone. He's like, y'all hear that singing? And you hear the singing. He throws a crab into the ocean. Something throws a crab back.
And
now,
it's not faked?
I mean, I don't know if it's fake or not, but yeah, him.
Oh, look at him. Oh,
he
he's
look
handsome.
crazy as hell. Yeah. He said he's handsome?
I said he's handsome.
That nigga look crazy as hell.
So he's crazy handsome.
He take baths with a toaster. Go back and look at his eyes. He's like, ugh. He's handsome? That's what's up. You think he's handsome? That's cool. I don't want, if you think they're handsome on me, I think it's interesting that we understand what handsome is based on women's opinion about different people that we see.
He looks like he would be one of my kids, though.
Wow.
Like, he looks like he could be like one of my brothers.
Got you.
Okay, so this is...
So I guess it's something that we have to
so
hear.
Yeah, she's just...
She's commenting on him.
Yeah, she just like making a comment on the video, but like...
Let's see this video.
What's his at name? Sauce 90.
Yeah, Sauce
Well,
90.
it looks like they're different. Is that so? Is this dude in the purple here? Is that the same?
Yeah,
dude
same
as the
dude.
Other,
Same
okay.
dude.
Where's
Yeah.
the crab comes back? Sauce 90. Okay, so let's get her out of here. We don't know her.
Yeah, get out of here.
So you're okay. You're saying they are real.
She said the government be on his ass and they always ban his videos.
Oh, so that's why. Okay, Siren Sauce 90. Do you think that's to do with unidentified submerged objects?
Well, that's the thing. Like, what if these aliens are really just an advanced society from down under?
And they breathe through gills?
That are popping up and flying around out of the ocean.
So they would breathe through gills, or do you think they have some sort of dome under there where they're living?
Yeah, they're inside the spaceship. That's probably full of water. Like, we got to stop thinking that we're the only smart. Like, there are fish down there with bioluminescence, which means that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that could be done with energy that we'll have no idea about.
Well,
we just can't fathom it. And because there are things that we can't fathom, the government doesn't help us try to fathom these things. They don't fill in the holes for why these things exist and where they exist. It's almost up to us to kind of step out on faith a little bit for some of these things.
Well, there is. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. There's the Aquatic Ape Theory.
Ooh.
And this is a picture of what they think. There's a possibility that we could adapt to the underwater. Like, we have gills because we all come from like the same certain things. So an embryo looks like a frog and it looks like a this and looks like a that. So somewhere in there, supposedly, we're supposed to have the genes for gills.
I heard that.
The aquatic ape, possible aquatic adaptations in humans.
Look at our nose too. Pay attention to the nose, right? So if you look at the way that our nose is built for diving and swimming, the way that water runs off our face versus like most primates, monkeys, only a few monkeys and apes right now that have a nose that has like a cover over it, because that literally would allow us to swim forward and water just run off our nose without it going up our nose like one of those flat monkey noses.
True. I'm trying to get over the breathing thing. So we could definitely be amphibious, like we're supposed to be next to the water.
But we have to breathe. They could literally be. Don't forget, they talk about how we came from fish, like the whole Darwin thing.
Yeah. And
they always say that, and they almost don't even repudiate that or refute that as much as they do the ape theory. Mm-hmm. Right? They almost make fun of the ape theory. But this Darwin theory, it almost kind of like sticks around as like a And if that's the case, then there's either an intermediary evolutionary step where they were aquatic and people, or one went this way, one went that way.
See, here's where I'm wondering. I'm like, okay, so if they developed in the ocean, how did they get to that level of technology? Unless it was like some Atlantis thing where now they're underground. But those, and I don't know anything about this. I'm just spitballing here.
Right.
Wouldn't they be biological humans? The Atlantis thing. So let's say the Earth's poles shifted or whatever, and all of a sudden the lost continent of Atlantis is now underwater. But wouldn't they just have all died? Because you don't just adapt gills.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, these beings are not human that's went that way. Mm-hmm. They are of the water.
So they developed completely independently.
Yeah, and they can develop technology. Because think about it like this: we develop technology in an oxidated world. Like this shit is oxidated. Like cars rust and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this is. I mean, they could literally like we just think of them like they down there wearing seashell titties and panties and shit. You know what I mean? You know, bras and shit. It's like, dog, they got who knows what's going on. We really don't know, and It bothers me that as humans, we could only fathom our hookup.
Yeah.
And that never, I'm like, yo, we got to wake up and realize, like, we have to leave room for what we don't know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's like kind of like the the XY axis of it. It's like shit you know, shit you know you don't know, shit you don't know, or you don't know, and then what you know it's something like that. It's 4 of them.
Yeah.
But it's like what you don't know is probably the most vast amount of information. Like you can know calculus exists, but know that you don't know it, right? And the things that you know, it's things that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's things that you don't know. That's what it is. You don't know, you know you don't know, and you don't know you don't know.
Do you ever see Star Trek 4? The Return to Earth?
I stopped fucking with Star Trek after a while. I didn't like the Klingons, and they look like ears. I just didn't like Star Trek after a while.
This is from the old Star Trek, and this is where they have to go back to Earth because the aliens that had visited Earth made a lasting relationship with the whales. So they had to come back and save the whales.
I think that it's funny you say that, because I think that whales, that sonar language, that's almost tech. That's almost like all of that, and that's probably one of the most universal languages. Like that's like some deep shit. And I feel like they have those big old brains. If you came down to Earth, you would probably want to talk to the whales if you could.
If you could, yeah. It's called Voyage Home. Yeah, let me pull that up. I am team whales.
Yeah, whales are dope.
When they go back to SeaWorld.
SeaWorld is dolphins. Those are dolphins.
Yeah, I've never been.
Right, but like orcas and killer whales, they call them killer whales, but they're dolphins. Those are actually dolphins.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I'm not familiar with whales.
Killer whales are not whales, they're dolphins.
Cool.
Technically, they're dolphins.
That's dope.
Yeah, and so now you look at them, you understand why they do all that stuff. They're like a different species of dolphin. They're not whales. And so, yeah, those motherfuckers are smart as hell, and they're kind of like vengeful. Like they be killing the shit out of them trainers and doing stuff that they understand. Like, for example, they take them and drag them down and hold them underwater, just kill them.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but you could understand if you had to lash out of a whole species that's keeping you enslaved and you only have access to this one member of the species. You know.
Everybody look up are orcas dolphins?
They look like dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story that's actually pretty funny about why is an orca not a whale? May not be a
Orcas
whale.
are a part of the Delphinidae family. The dolphin family. Delphinidae. Delphinidae? Delphinidae. Is it Delphinidae? They are part of the Delphinidae family.
Oh, I see it. Delphinidae. Yeah.
Is it Delphinidae?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not really my character from working as hard. Oceanic dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Now, and if you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it is a dolphin.
It is, yeah. I see it now.
And they are the biggest dolphin of the species.
I wonder if that's similar to whale sharks. Are whale sharks more whale or more shark?
No, whale sharks are sharks. Well, like
they
because
they look like,
right, but like the first term is like the adjective species, and then the second term is like the you know what I'm saying? It's like how you do like cars.
Oh, I get it. It's like tiger shark.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a shark. Okay, so this particular story. So scientists have finally gotten to the bottom of a mummified mermaid body that has been worshipped in Japan for centuries. So basically...
Wait. Say it again.
They've gotten to the bottom of this mummified mermaid that has been worshipped in Japan for 300 years.
Don't tell me it's fake.
It's fake. Because what someone did is they sewed the top of a monkey to the bottom of a fish. And then they mummified that because that's supposed to bring good luck. They have them in their fairy tales.
300 years?
300-year-old mummy.
likely consists of sewed to the bottom half of the fish. So somebody did this 300 years ago.
They did this to trick the Europeans because they're like, oh yeah, we have all these crazy new animals here. And the Europeans didn't know any better. Like they just got
They
there.
know it's sold though. What's the proof?
Okay, 12 inches inside a box. They had it in a box.
Oh yeah, if it's 12 inches, yeah, you know they fucking tied a bass to the bottom of one of them little monkeys.
Okay, so this paleontologist went to investigate it. They did a CT scan. And they also did a DNA, which is going to be released later. But apparently this isn't the first time that someone had also sewn like an orangutan to a salmon bottom as well.
Is that some little jeans? What's that? Oh no, that's like a little thing. Don't that like a little pair of jeans right there?
But yeah, apparently the fairy tale is they might have this thing called a Fiji mermaid, that if you come in contact with them, you get long life. And the story goes that one woman accidentally ate one of them and she lived to be 800. So that's why they had been worshiping it.
She lived to be 800. How long ago
Well, that's
was
not
this shit?
true.
Right,
I don't
'cause
think
I'm like,
that's
she's
true.
still here. Like, man, my feet hurt so goddamn bad. She 800. Like, man, y'all don't even know. That's crazy, man. Okay, so yeah, I did look it up. A whale shark is just a big ass fish.
Yeah, big ass fish.
Damn, how big is it? Jesus Christ.
You ever been to the Georgia Aquarium? They have them
They
there.
have a whale shark.
Yeah, bro. You stand in the thing and like they have a little conveyor belt and it kind of goes under and they just be like I think it's like either one or two in there, but they just swim around and all the other fish are like under. Like yeah, we would big dog. Like they're huge though. That and the manta ray are like some of the biggest fish I've seen like in that kind of space. You even in the water kind of makes them look smaller than they are.
Damn.
But they have them there.
Weighs around 11 tons? Seriously?
They get like
Length 40 feet?
yeah.
My
40
goodness.
feet is like what? 40 feet is about 15 yards.
Yeah. Can we eat them? Are we supposed to eat them?
Oh,
Don't
I'm
eat
sure.
them.
I'm sure
I mean,
4 or 5 of those will
you-
feed a McDonald's fish fillet thing for about 2 months.
You maybe. I mean, I'm sure you could, but good luck. I don't know
Yeah,
how
certain
aggressive
shit
they
gets
are.
so big in the ocean, you don't even want none of that.
Yeah, they might not take. And then
It
you
didn't
killed
seem
one,
too
it doesn't
much.
taste good, and then like you've killed this giant thing of 40 tons of meat, and you're like, or 11 tons of meat.
11 tons of meat. That sounds disgusting. Somebody said a fish and a monkey for 300 years. I bet that box is stinking. Yeah, that's crazy. A fish monkey. Well, so back to the UFOs. What do we concur about this pregnancy and this 15 pages of documents that what you think?
I don't know. I mean, if they say that they don't know what it is, and the Pentagon has done all this research to release this, and they say they don't know, now here's one thing. One fascinating document included in an acquisition threat support report sets out how to categorize anomalous behavior with encounters with ghosts, yetis, spirits, elves, and other mythical legendary entities classified as AN3. I
Thank
think
you.
they're not
Those
telling
things
us.
are real. In America, I feel like this country is vibrating so low, right? Like they have us so underneath this. Like we're not really feeling what it feels like to be on this planet for real. Like this is not a high vibrating society, and that's why we just don't get a chance to see. Like I've seen some elves before, I think, right? They're just little people, but no.
I don't think that people who are undersized are elves.
I think that they're babies, like a toddler elf, a toddler little person. That's what elves are, right? It's like kids are baby goats. Joeys are baby kangaroos. Elves are baby little people. Anyway, yetis, spirits. You peep spirits and ghosts.
I think they're not letting us into some stuff that they know.
I just hope that it all gets revealed while I'm alive. That's what I always have worried about. Like, man, I hope I'm here to see some of these things get revealed, because these are some of the biggest questions that our society has had for the last 500 years about whether these things exist. Bigfoots and Yetis and ghosts and spirits and, you know what I'm saying? Like the Loch Ness Monster and all these dragons and shit like that. That it's like, oh, no, don't worry. It's like, fam, so then why is it in every show? And why is it in every, you know what I'm saying? Why are they finding it everywhere but here? It's like a big ass sandbox. There's never no dinosaurs found here like that. There's never no mummies here. Like, this shit is whack. This shit is really whack. Is you could dig and dig. You don't find nothing but some oil or some bullshit like that. Everywhere else, you go to Africa, you might just be in your backyard and a fucking brontosaurus wash up on a rainy day. Like, oh, there's a brontosaurus. It's like, it's never no shit like that here.
We find some stuff out in the desert sometimes, and I went fossil hunting, and we did find the fossils. I think it's
but of like dead dogs and stuff, like what y'all finding fossils of for real?
ferns.
Ferns? What you mean ferns?
Like the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And then you break open the rock, and then you see the imprints of the ferns.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and you can find those just around, but a lot of people, they're not looking for them. They're not making the efforts to go fossil hunting. They're like, oh, this would be a good fossil. And I remember we saw the rock, and then this is my mom's boyfriend at the time, broke it open and said, "See, look, it's a fern inside, an ancient fern."
Damn.
But if you weren't looking, you would have just thrown that rock away.
Right. So now you have a kind of eye for those kind of rocks, that just from having that experience.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. We, I had a science teacher in 4th grade that had us studying like trilobites or trilobites and just how to, how those fossils are made. And it was really cool. We use like horseshoe crabs, but they look just like trilobites. To this day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about trilobites and horseshoe crabs, like that got to be the same shit. Yeah. And then look up a horseshoe crab. Yep.
I didn't even know they can get that small.
Mm-hmm. They start off that small. That's a baby horseshoe crab.
In Connecticut, yeah. Oh yeah, they're tiny. We see them. Up at the Rocky Shore in New England. Yeah.
Do people eat these?
I've never seen anyone eat them.
I don't know if you can get that shell off of them.
I get that bitch off.
When you find them, it's usually just the shell. Like they wash up and then it's just the shell. Mm. You never see the actual crab itself. I haven't seen it with just the crab itself.
Yeah, I boiled that bitch. I bet you he come off with some steam and some nice little butter. A little delicious motherfucker. Anyway.
Oh, it says it's essential. The blood is essential for testing this new drug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just see the shells wash ashore. All over the place, too. In New England, they're all over the place.
That's deep.
They look so strange.
They do look so strange. They almost look...
It's like a scorpion,
alien-like.
Scorpion crab.
Most
turtle.
of our alien-looking things are coming out of the ocean.
Well, that's because they're alien to us. But if like a real alien were to come here, we might not even be able to recognize it in any form.
But all of the aliens that we actually model our aliens by are ocean animals.
Yeah, this looks like the Predator.
Exactly. So does the Predator look like a evil squid?
Yeah, it was like the octopus and stuff.
Like
it's more so like the
Mm.
daunting characters of the ocean, basically.
Yeah, like all of those are the monsters that we come from outer space with. That's it. Or dinosaurs. And it's like all we can fathom is what we've seen, and it's like, oh, like it just scares me about how advanced that we think we are, and we're really not. We're really not as advanced as we think we are, because all we doing is just throwing around the same ideas. Every alien on every movie is a cephalopod. You know what I'm saying? Like every all their powers are all cephalopod powers, are all like bioluminescent style. Yeah, it's just like everything is just surface level ocean shit.
Yeah, that's all we can fathom.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like, man, until we realize that we don't even know what we're looking for, just like Maya's mom's ex-boyfriend did, show her that the inside of that fossil was the rock, we would have walked right past that. The real shit is going on right around us, and we have no idea about it. So, I guess this podcast was not about solving anything. It just was about an opinion. Yeah, man, these aliens, they're fucking our women. And, that's more shit we got to deal with. Getting them pregnant, they just going raw. They don't even care about if she's ovulating or not. This shit is wicked, man. Watch your back.
What if they're also fucking the men, but the men can't get pregnant?
New fear unlocked. Anyway, yeah, my name is Comedian CP. This is Maye. This is Amir. And this is the CP podcast, man. You know, hope if you've been enlightened today, hope you learned something today. Hope this was an emotional breakthrough for you. You know, roll something up. See you guys next time. Peace.